Hi, this is Michelle Nagaiza. Thank you for coming in and listening. Today I'm going to give some advice and hear some ideas for strategies and ways that teachers can help the ESL program at our school. And I'm speaking with
Laquita Carter, 6th grade ESL teacher.
And we actually have two ESL teachers in our building, so we're fortunate for that. First, I just want to talk about some of the recommendations that I have seen, and if you have ideas of way teachers can help, that would be great to hear as well. We can kind of spring off of each other.
Okay.
But from the results of the staff survey that I did, as well as looking at our CSIP and our school improvement plan, one of the issues or weaknesses for our school was culture responsiveness. And so some of my ideas, hoping to help that for next year, would be embedded professional development. And we're so fortunate at Western to have EPD every day. Mm-hmm. And so often we don't have strategies coming in that pertain to ESL and their accommodations. And I know through my courses at Georgetown, I've learned a lot about WIDA, and I had no idea that WIDA existed. I knew they took a test and got access scores, but never were how to apply those or what that meant to me as a teacher. And so I hope that's a feeling amongst a lot of teachers, and if we were given the time where you could come in and tell us how to do it, or even have, because sometimes, schedules, you'll be teaching while we're in EPD, if we have someone else outside come in and explain the process. And not only just about WIDA, the standards, but also what we are supposed to, by law, accommodate the students. Mm-hmm. Especially, we know if we don't accommodate all year, they're not allowed those accommodations during K-Prep, at the end of the year testing. So embedded professional development was one of my really big ones. It could even be once a month or once a week, just strategies of how we can help you. Because I know you have a hard workload with how many ESL students we have in our building. And you can't get into all classrooms and help all teachers. Yeah. So they had some strategies.
I think that's a good idea. I actually started doing it with 6th grade this year. So earlier in the year in September, I actually went through the access test and what each component meant, and actually shared the student scores. And then I was able to work with the 6th grade team once a month, sharing strategies during our team meeting.
Oh my goodness.
So that recommendation is right on target with what I've started in 6th grade.
Well, awesome. Well, maybe that'll trickle down for 7th and 8th grade, because that's really awesome. And the students, they need that support. And often, sometimes teachers are at so many other things, they don't know what they need to do for those students.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, most teachers have never seen even the access scores or the results, so don't know. Most teachers don't know how to help and don't know really what all that means. So I started sharing that in 6th grade this year. So.
Oh, that's awesome. My other one was, I was actually kind of piggybacking on what you guys did this year with the International Fair, but involving the whole school body, because culture, is not just your race or your where you're from, but it incorporates a lot of other ideas about everything in life, basically. And so it'd be interesting to have all the different cultures represented. And I was thinking carrot block would be a really good idea, and having it at the beginning of the school year. So it kind of involves everyone in the school and gets kind of that community vibe, and having everyone realize, okay, there's a lot of different cultures, and everyone can kind of share food, or like you guys did in the projects, but as well as teachers having some of the things from different cultures hanging up in their classroom to represent the students. And since it was just the, correct me if I'm wrong, it was just the ESL students who made the projects, is that correct?
Yes, we had targeted the social studies department, and we were trying to branch it out from the social studies department. And from the department meeting, they said that those standards were not taught in all grades. levels. So that's why we didn't have the whole school involved.
Okay.
And so going forward, we talked about maybe going through the language arts department and then making it during our informational time of the year when we're looking at informational pieces and we're doing research, then branch it through the language arts department and then have it. But having it at the beginning of the year is a good idea as well, because that's when we're doing a lot of team building and getting to know each other, and so that's a good idea as well. So yes, and that's the reason why this year we didn't branch it out. And plus, it was our first time doing it. So,
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, every year we add more to each lesson or scratch some things like, oh, that didn't work. Yeah, so definitely. I thought it was an awesome idea and awesome project, and the students talked about it for a long time. So I know they really enjoyed doing that. They're like, make sure you come see mine. And
good.
So I thought if it was during care, then even every teacher could kind of be involved. And so then you could have students interview other students from different cultures and really have everyone kind of feel that idea of we're all different individuals and all have something to bring kind of to the community. So my last idea was the community building that validates their cultural identities. And I feel like we do that pretty hard in the beginning of the school year. And then as the school year goes, we don't really come back to the idea or really represent who our students are. I know when I look around my classroom, it's just math content, and so I'm often not really knowing some of my students. Some of them are just kind of in the background, and I really want to know like each individual student. I think if we had those opportunities throughout the year, that would really help as well.
So what activities are you talking about in the beginning of the year that we do that we don't do throughout the year? I'm not really sure.
Kind of like, because it's care block at the beginning of the year. So care is at the beginning of the morning for about 30 minutes after attendance is taken, and we can do like a brown paper bag where each student brings in an object that represents them and can explain and share with the class. But then as the year progresses, it's very much an intervention and content. And then all throughout the day is content driven, like let's get these standards in. So maybe if there was like kind of how they were talking about Monday mix, but that pertains to students going and getting more intervention. So if there's ever a time to really just build that community and have those kind of more M&M care lessons, would be beneficial, I think, because I know for me in my classroom, it's standards. We don't have the time like, so how was your weekend, or how are you doing? I mean, I'll ask those quick questions, but it's not, you know, sometimes I feel like I don't know my students, they're in and out. So those are just some of the ideas, because one of our barriers is cultural responsiveness. I know you've done a really great job with the ESL program. Is there anything that you can think that would help that the teachers in our building could do to really assist the ESL students?
Well, that during the first 6 weeks when we have that team building, that culture building, I think that's really a good time to really get to know the kids, because that's our time that's it's the least intense time as far as standards and instruction. So a good idea may be to just, instead of having our set care class, where maybe we do a week with one group and then we switch. That way you get access to all of the kids on the team, and then you would know all the kids, and that'd be done at the beginning of the school year.
I love that.
And we would knock that out of the way. So, you know what I mean? I guess you'll get to know them early on. And then you get the opportunity to mix with all the kids and have that time to really get to question them and get to know them better.
That's a really good idea. Yeah. It's kind of like our waterfall.
Right, except in the first 6 weeks, it's kind of getting all the teachers familiar with each child. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm excited for next year. I think we're going to have some good things going on. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We shared some ways to help our ESL students and ways teachers can help accommodate those students. And so we're looking forward to great ideas for next year. Thanks. And thank you so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
down. I appreciate it so
I like those are
much.
good. So have you, is this